Volition just doesn't know how to make Saints Row players happy. The title launched as a broken, underwhelming Saints Row experience. For months they've released no content, and now that the first big DLC has released, it also is broken, leading to people destroying them on social media. I have a few different things to show off, but before we get into the topic, if you enjoy the content that I create, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Follow me on social media like Twitter or mine so that you can see when my content is posted. And of course, if you do really enjoy the videos and the live streams that I create, please consider becoming a Dark Titan via Patreon or a supporter via YouTube memberships. So yes, it is finally time for the DLC to release. And of course, people are not happy over it. Now, I never thought that this DLC was going to go over too well, because while they were hoping it was going to bring people in and maybe get people that are new to the franchise to purchase the game, any kind of talk surrounding it was pretty negative, at least over the past few weeks it has been. Everyone is pretty disappointed with this game in general. I didn't really see a way for a DLC to work, especially when they were basically demanding people play it, saying, oh, you need to buy the game and give it a chance to get the full Saints Row Reboot experience. But now that it is out, it is truly worse than I could have imagined. I figured Volition would have learned their lesson. The base game launched in a terrible, buggy, broken state, and I thought they're never going to do that again, right? They're going to be very careful going forward. They're going to make sure it is launching in almost a perfect state, and unfortunately, you can't even count on Volition to learn their lessons, because this DLC, from what I am hearing, is as broken as the base game was at launch. Now, I am not playing this DLC. I still have not played the Saints Row Reboot, primarily because I don't want to give them my money. They do not deserve it. Maybe one day when it's like $10, right, I'll play it, because I've played all of the other Saints Row games and I have really loved them. But there was no way I was going to spend a full 60 freaking bucks on this, and I'm really glad that I didn't, and that I had really no expectations from this DLC. I never thought it was going to save the game, because it is so freaking broken. Now, first of all, let's start with Twitter, right? I had posted this thread. Surely the devs learned their lesson after the god-awful launch. Surely they would not launch the DLC in a buggy and broken state. And I took several screenshots from the official subreddit, because I have been looking at it over the past day or so after I saw on Twitter people were complaining about the state, and people are just posting tons of different screenshots of different bugs and glitches. I mean, look at this one, okay? Good thing this guy gave me his picture, or I'd have no clue what he would look like. It is a screenshot of a bug in the DLC. And of course, we're not just talking about one or two issues here, small graphical problems. We're talking about things like this. What is going on? There's tons of screen tearing. There are tons of, random, like, black bars showing up on the screen, things like this where you can't see anything in the game. People saying this started happening after they downloaded everything for the DLC and they started playing the content. I don't think I ran into this before. I'm on my 4th playthrough on first-gen Xbox One. First of all, who would put time into 4 playthroughs of this game? I'm not judging, but damn, that's a lot of time. When Kevin is standing on the balcony at the apartment, I can't talk to him. The circle is above his head, but the Y prompt doesn't become available. Only happened after the update, and the title of it is another new-ish bug after update. And the official Saints Row Twitter account decided to post this thread. The heist and the hazardous plus the Sunshine Springs update are out now for Saints Row, and the comments are pretty savage. A lot of people are complaining about how they literally could not even download in the first place. Can't download on the Xbox One or the Series X. Also says I don't own the expansion pass even though I do. I tried to stream, but I don't see any new missions. People saying things like, I feel ripped off. I paid £8 for 3 missions, done in an hour, and my challenges are still broken. And no, I'm not submitting anything when you have had these issues for 9 freaking months. Unfortunately, they did think putting out the least amount of content possible was going to make people happy. Yes, from what I am hearing, the new DLC, while it does have like some new clothing and new cars and a new general like area, it is primarily 3 missions that they expected people to pay for. The DLC was short as hell for how many months we had to wait. The area is overall decent aesthetic-wise, but what was the point of adding only 3 to 4 missions that take about 30 minutes to complete in total? This is absolutely ridiculous and is such an insult to a player base that has already been insulted multiple times. I mean, I just discussed it in a video a few days ago, but Volition was just on social media claiming that players need to play the new patches in order to really appreciate the fixes. They were basically saying you should go and buy the DLC and give it a chance because the game is finally getting to where they expected it to launch at all of those months ago. You can't seriously expect people to pay for a game that is still this broken. It is just ridiculous. I mean, looking at clips like this is just unacceptable, and I am totally of the understanding that sometimes games launch and they have bugs, they have glitches, they have issues. I can accept a few small problems here and there, but there are no AAA releases or really any larger releases that should launch in this state, and this is DLC after a fail at launching the base game. You'd think that they would have learned their lesson, but they haven't, and it's just absurd. Even going to YouTube, there are people with 2-hour streams saying Saints Row, the Heist and the Hazardous DLC is broken. Again, I cannot attest to the content myself currently because I have not purchased the base game or the DLC, but I have been paying a lot of attention to this game, and it sucks. I mean, as someone who has loved the past Saints Row games, I'm just really disappointed to see that this is what they thought would be acceptable. People saying things like, do not buy the Saints Row DLC. Do not buy this. They are once again proving how pathetic they are. DLC breakdown. Just a few days ago I talked about this. Saints Row Reboot developers are demanding fans to return. They are panicking because this game is just, it's dead at this point. There's nothing they could do to save it, and they did try to release this DLC, but unfortunately for them, it was another massive failure, and overall, I still cannot recommend you guys pick up this game and give it a chance because it is just not worth it. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this and of course found it important and informative, please make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.